What do you guys think? I think that there's a bunch of colors in here that are going to be in. Happy video day, guys. So today's video is going to be my trend finder. We're starting to figure out what's going to be in for spring of 2020 and also going into summer. And I do these trend finders every single season to kind of get an idea of what we should start looking for, because guess what, guys? Spring releases are coming. And if you're like me and you're kind of on a low buy and you really don't want to go and have to buy all of these new releases, you got to come up with some creative ways to still be on trend. So what we're going to be doing in this video is I'm going to start my trend finder off with telling you guys all of the Pantone colors that are going to be in for spring and summer of 2020. So by seeing the colors, we can kind of start getting an idea of what kind of eyeshadow palettes are going to be in. So then we're going to go through my collection and I'm going to find some eyeshadow palettes that I currently own right now that maybe you guys own too, look like they may have the colors that are going to be in for the spring, kind of get an idea if there's going to be more palettes that I really need to add to my collection, or, you know, also for my Make Up Your Mind series, I need to kind of get these new palette ideas of what colors are going to be in, because those are probably going to be the palettes I'm going to have to dive into when I'm trying to mimic certain palettes. So we're going to get into everything. We're going to look through my collection and see if I find any eyeshadow palettes that already kind of have the colors of the season. And yeah, we're going to go through all of that together. We're going to be super on trend without having to spend some money. So that's my goal. So let's get into it right now. All right, so let's start off with showing you guys the colors of the season. First, I want to share with you guys that the main color of the entire year that they picked for the year is going to be classic blue. So that's kind of a shocker to me, classic blue. I honestly didn't think that this would be the Pantone color of the year, but it is. So you're going to be seeing blue pop up everywhere. I think we already started seeing that, right guys? We already started seeing like little blue, little speckles show up in different palettes already. So that's because blue was picked for the year. Now, when it comes to makeup and you see this blue, it doesn't really mean that it has to be that hue of blue. Usually makeup artists, what they do is they kind of try to create a hue that's a little bit easier for people to wear. So there'll be different shades of blue that'll be in. There'll be shades of blue that maybe are a little bit more wearable, maybe some that they know look a little bit better on the eyes. But when it comes to fashion, you will see it more like this type of blue, but maybe in makeup, you're going to see variants of blue. But we do know that the Pantone color of the year is going to be classic blue. So that's interesting. I mean, for me personally, that I don't really love blue eyeshadow. I'm like, you know, like, I don't know. I wish it was like hunter green or something. I want to see something different. I'm kind of tired of blues. I feel like blues have kind of been in for a little while, haven't they? Like around the time Jeffree did his Blue Blood palette, I feel like there was so many blues everywhere. But anyway, so we've got classic blue for the year. Throw on the screen right now, right here. I'm going to show you guys, these are all the colors that are going to be in for spring and summer of 2020. So let's jump into them really quickly. So there's going to be Flame Scarlet, which is obviously a super bright, flamey scarlet color. So this is very red. Then we also have Saffron, which is a kind of like an orangey yellow, which I already see a few brands already coming out with this type of color. If you guys saw the Dominique Cosmetics Latte 2, this was one of the colors that was in that palette. Then we have Classic Blue, which we already went over, very classic blue. Then we have this Pantone, which is called Biscay Green. And we saw a similar color to this also in the Dominique Cosmetics Latte 2 already. So this is kind of like a minty greenish color. It's more like an aqua. I guess an aqua is a good color for it. So then the next color is Sunlight. So this is like a very soft yellow color. I feel like the Latte 2 had this color in it too, didn't it? I think it did. But anyway, so this is a very light yellow color, almost pale yellow. Very pretty. I really like it. Then we have Coral Pink. Coral Pink is one of my favorite colors in eyeshadow palettes. I love to mix that with greens. I love to mix Coral Pink with almost anything. So that was close to being the color of the year last year, but it wasn't. But it has that like corally pinky color that I really love. So I really love that color. So I'm happy that's in. The next color is a really pretty color too. This is called Cinnamon Stick. So Cinnamon Stick is kind of like a brown that has a little bit more orange to it. And I can see this in cosmetics like crazy. This is a beautiful color. So then we have Grape Compote. Now, this is a mysterious looking grape. It's not like that in your face grape color. It's not like a very strong purple. It's a more muted down purple, very wearable in cosmetics. So I really love this color as well. I think that the color stories that are coming out right now, like this type of color story is like so me. So I'm really liking, I really love the grape, the cinnamon stick. I love the coral pink. So there's a few colors already here that I'm like, yes, yes, yes. So the next one I'm really happy for too. It's called Chive. So now we're getting a little bit into greens. I don't feel like there was a lot of greens that were shown. You can see this in cosmetics as well. It says it's like an herbal green. So it's a pretty, it's not like a hunter green, but it is a more deep green than we're used to seeing. So I like this color. I think that they could make really nice variations of this color. I'd like to see this type of color like in a metallic. How cool would that look? And then the next one is Faded Denim. I like this. I like this because this could be a very pale blue, and I feel like we've seen this coming out already. There's been a few palettes that have already introduced like this type of pale blue. I like it. I think it's very pretty. This is another thing I could totally see in cosmetics. So now the next one is Orange Peel. Now, Orange Peel, I feel like will be a little bit difficult. This one we may start to see if they start coming out with more colorful palettes, maybe towards summertime. We might start seeing hints of orange come back. I don't think it'll be this saturated of an orange, but we are going to start seeing a little bit of orange probably coming in our palettes pretty soon. I'm kind of excited for that. I mean, like, I'm not like dying over orange, but orange can do really pretty warm looks, but I think a lot of us are kind of over warm palettes. So the next one is Mosaic Blue. So here's another blue. So we've already got 3 blues going here. So that's why I'm saying, we're going to start seeing a lot of blues coming out. Now this one's also pretty. I do like this one. I think that I probably like the lighter one a little bit more just because it's a little bit more different. But this one's nice. So then we have a few base tones. So they always include like base colors. This is more for fashion. But of course, when it comes to cosmetics, we always use bases as well. So there is the color Lark, which is kind of like a taupe, but it looks like it has a little bit more yellow in it. It does match a lot with all the other colors that I just showed you. Then we have Navy Blazer. This is actually cool because this isn't really a black, but it's a really dark blue. It's a super dark blue. So it is going within the whole blue kind of theme that's going on here, but I love this because I love a dark, dark, dark blue that's almost black. So that's a really cool color. Then we have Brilliant White. And this one actually excites me to think that maybe palettes will start having a little bit more matte whites in it because I enjoy matte whites. I think it makes your eye look so complete. I really honestly love when there's a matte white inside palettes. I think it's really nice. Maybe like not 100% like brilliant white like this one. A little bit more toned down white I really like. So I'm excited. And then the last one I love, Ash. I think that a gray tone on lids is just so cool, and a lot of brands forget to put grays in palettes. I don't know, I just think that gray is such a cool tone for smoky eyes and everything. You can come out with some awesome looks with grays. So those are the 2020 spring summer Pantone colors. So these Pantone colors, basically what they are, designers kind of get like these Pantones a year, I believe it's like a year in advance. So they already knew about these Pantones a year ago when they're creating their summer and spring collection. So there's kind of like a sequence between all the brands so that something becomes in, you know, because like if designers just came up with anything, there would be like nothing really in. Everybody would just have different visions. So Pantone releases like these are going to be the colors of the season. Then what happens, designers use those Pantone ideas to create their collections so that there's specific things and specific colors that are used within all the collections. So that is what the Pantones are. Of course, the runways already happen for spring and summer. I believe that they happen in October. So a lot of the fashion that's going to be in has already been presented, and everybody knows that these are the colors coming in. So we're ahead of the schedule, guys. We already know the colors that are going to come in. So that means that we need to find the palettes in our collection that have like similar tones so that we can see if we're kind of already on trend, if we already have the trending colors. That's going to make my make up your mind so much easier because I'm already going to have the color, I'm already going to have those color stories that look like they're going to be pretty in the forefront of my drawer. So it'll make it a lot easier for me to compare palettes that are going to start coming out. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to search through my collection. I'm going to find palettes that have these same similar Pantone colors, and I'm going to show them to you guys. Because if you guys have these palettes, then this is what we need to have in front of our drawer when spring starts, because this is what we're going to start seeing. And let me tell you, I was able to pull a couple palettes, like more than I even expected I was going to be able to pull. And there's some that are a little bit more spot on, like almost the same color story. And then there's some that I just found like hints of colors. I found hints of colors that I think are pretty interesting, that they kind of look a little bit like what's going to be in. So I'm excited. I think I have some pretty good contenders to be able to find a lot of the colors that are going to be coming out. I'm going to put up on the screen right here the colors that are going to be in, and I'll show you guys the palettes on this side. And here's the Rustic Glam. What do you guys think? I think that there's a bunch of colors in here that are going to be in. I see the oranges, I see the green, I see the blue, like that dustier blue. I don't say the coral, but like look at these kind of like lighter transitional shades look kind of similar. This one has a little bit of that more reddish tone brown. So this palette right here may be a huge contender for spring summer 2020 in being able to create looks that are going to come out similar to palettes that are going to be in. So if you guys have this palette, I would throw this one to the front. Also, another palette that I was actually pretty shocked when I noticed that it had similar tones in it was this one, Natasha Denona Safari. So I love the Safari palette, and I'm so excited to say these hues look so similar to the color story that they're presenting for the spring of 2020. Don't these kind of look similar? You got the purples, you got the oranges, you got some of these lighter cream colors, the green, you got a blue in here. This is going to be a really similar color story to what I'm seeing for spring of 2020 going into summer. This is going to be spring and summer, so we got both of those coming here. So now I just got this one, the Blood Sugar. Now I'm excited to say that even though this is a very warm tone palette, I see purples in here. I see the purple that we're seeing a purple similar to that one. We're also seeing like some of those corally colors like this one. Hey, I've got a super, super big red right here that looks a lot like that flamey red, whatever it's called. Like Flame Scarlet. Doesn't look similar to Flame Scarlet. So we've got a few hues here. Of course, the corally kind of tones right here. This is beautiful color. So I feel like this palette's giving me a lot of the purples, the pinks, and the reds that are going to be in. So I'm excited for that. I'm actually pretty shocked that inside of this palette here from KKW Beauty Mario, this was released, I feel like, how long ago was it? Was it a year ago? And I feel like they are still trending. Like, they're kind of still within the trend. I mean, we've got the blue here. This might be a little bit more light of blue, but it could still go within the blues. We have the orangey kind of brown. It kind of looks like cinnamon stick right here. We have the whites, which are kind of like the whites that are going to be in. We have the purple, which is kind of like a purple that's going to be in. You look at this one, we can kind of have a shimmery purple. So this kind of goes within what's going to be in. I'm going to be able to reference to this palette pretty much. A palette that you guys are going to be so excited for because a lot of you guys own this, and hey, you can pull it out again. It's going to be in the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. We've got almost all the colors here, guys. We've got the yellow that's going to be in. We've got the orangey kind of tones. We have like the whites down here. We have the greens over here. We've got the teal right here. This palette almost has every single one of the colors that's going to be in. Maybe what it's lacking a little bit is the purples. We only have like a metallic-y purple down here. But if you guys have the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, put it to the forefront because I feel like that's going to be a lot of the similar tones that are going to be in for the spring summer. I'm actually pretty excited about this one. The Metropolis palette from Natasha Denona. I was looking, I was like, oh no, I only have one Natasha Denona that's going to be in, but I found this one and I go, okay. This is kind of similar. I was like, okay, Natasha, you didn't let us down. You gave us a palette that can be used a little bit longer. We've got the oranges going in here. We also have the blue. We have some white. We have the green. You guys see a bunch of the colors. There's another blue that's kind of similar to the blue that's going to be in. And then there is like more like mustardy yellows in here, which is kind of within the color story that's going to be in. So I feel like this palette is going to be big for spring, summer. So we're going to be able to find a lot of colors in here for sure. So that's really exciting. Another one that really excited me too was this one, my Mothership 5. Yay, Pat McGrath. I can actually start using this one again. I feel like some of these colors were not really predominantly in recently, but we've got the purple here. Hey, we've got the red. We've got some of the beigey tones, the whites. I mean, so we've got some of the colors in here that I feel go within the color story. This kind of matches the color story, don't you guys think? Do you think I should be keeping this one in the forefront? I think I should. So now this one I don't think has like that many of the tones, but I do see this is the Icon palette from Charlotte Tilbury. We've got the blues here. We have the blue. We have a few of the whites. We have like the pinky kind of tones. So I feel like this one I'll probably be able to reference a few of the colors with, which is great. The Natasha Denona Mini Glam. This one I pulled because I was like, yay, it has a little bit of like a grayish brown, which is not the same as the gray that's in here. But I mean, this is like the closest. And then we also have like kind of like this color here that kind of reminds me of the lightest taupe. So maybe I'll be able to reference a few little colors to this one, especially for the neutral colors. Another palette that I'm happy has like somewhat similar is the Carli Bybel palette. You've got like the reddish tone right here. We also have some of the beiges. We have this corally tone that's really similar to the coral that's gonna be in. We have some purples, even though they're not the exact purple, they're still purples. So you know that brands are gonna be coming out with like purples. This could go orange, this could go coral. I feel like this scheme you're gonna see similar since there is one purple in. I'm assuming that there's gonna be shades of purple, variations of purple. So I think that this might be a nice spring palette that we're gonna see colors. Now, I was actually pretty shocked to say, oh, you know what? The Subculture looks like it has a lot of these tones. We've got this corally tone right here. We have the green right here. We have a lot of the purples. We have a blue, even though this is a darker blue, still blue. And look, New Wave is a little bit like the yellow. So Subculture had a lot of the colors. I was like, wow, I could use Subculture again. And then finally, if you guys bought this one, the Born to Run from Urban Decay, I also see a few colors in here. We've got some purples. We also have the green. We have the blues. There's a few hues in here, but since this is such a diverse palette, I feel like we'll be able to find a bunch of the tones in here as well. We also have orange. And finally, I got this last palette. This is from Storybook Cosmetics, and I got this in BoxyCharm. And look, we've got some purples, we've got some blues. We also have like some of those corally tones up here. This is also going to be able to be referenced to because I feel like it has some of the similar colors that are going to be in. So I'm going to tell you guys, I feel like I'm pretty good with the colors that they're saying is going to be in. I'm crossing my fingers that I've got a lot of these tones because I feel like a lot of my palettes actually have very similar hues in them. So if you guys have any of these palettes, I would definitely say start putting those in the front because we're probably going to be starting to see palettes coming out with similar tones. We did see Latte 2. I feel like Latte 2 had a lot from the Jaclyn Hill. If you guys saw my Make Up Your Mind, if you haven't, you should, because I did reference a lot of those colors to the Jaclyn Hill palette. And yeah, it's kind of going within this scheme. What do you guys think? So do you guys like the colors that are in? Do you guys have any of these palettes? What are your thoughts? I want to know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. This will be my first trend finder. Of course, as we get closer, we'll start looking for some more trends that are going to be in, especially with the lips and the lipstick colors. I already know one trend that's going to be in for the lips, and I'm pretty excited because it is nice and bright and beautiful, and I can't wait to share it, and I will share it on my next trend finder. So thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.